If it's not Sunday and it's not Monday, then
It must be Tuesday.
boom, there you have it. And we are in the building. The situation's about to get handled and dealt with, right? You see who it is, right? You can read, can't you? All right, that's me. All right, on Twitter, which is this right now, and right over there, over there, Browski, aka out of Bear, aka High Ceilings, aka Rain, Sleet, Hail, Snow. Saquon's gonna run, Jalen's gonna throw. What's up, Browski Bean? What's the deal?
Ah man, we are chilling over here, It's always great, celebrate a victory. It's always great to make all the naysayers eat their words, all the haters.
One particular day sayer, right?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Bow Tie, stupid hats,
Uh oh.
one too many shirts on, guy to be on ESPN that try to use big words. You know what he sounds like when he talks to me? He sounds like a guy that was in jail and just read the dictionary. He kind of reminds me of T.I., you know, and
Or the dude that used to be on Living Color, the dude David
yes.
Wayne. Yeah, okay, I got you.
So, every week, from week one, he's been going hard, saying how this team and this team and this team and this team has the potential to, shut us out. They are the team to knock us off the pedestal. This is the team that's going to cause the most problems for the Philadelphia Eagles. First they told, oh, the Cowboys, they got George Pickens. They're going to be a problem this year. We beat them. Next, oh, uh, Tampa,
Watch
they're
it,
going to knock
watch
us.
it, watch it,
They,
watch
they was going to knock us down, Baker Mayfield this, Mike Evans, 1,000 yards every freaking season. We went to Tampa once again, beat them. The next one, oh, you guys definitely not going to beat the Rams. What are you talking about? Matt Stafford, future Hall of Famer, already give him the MVP of this year. Oh, they got Devontae and Puka. Oh, their defense is amazing. They're gonna shut the Eagles down. They're gonna get their revenge. Beat them. Okay. Then oh, well, you know what? The Golden Boy, Jordan Love in Green Bay. You know, up and coming. He's gonna take over the league. He's the future of the league. Got so many weapons. Josh Jacobs. Oh, they traded for Micah Parsons. Oh my God. Micah Parsons is going to change the whole dynamic of their defense. He knows the Eagles. He played against these guys in the NFC East. What we do? We go to Green Bay. Trash them. Got them out of there. It's only you. We only see you. Got, got Green Bay out of there. Held these guys at 10 points. I mean, held them guys to 7 points. Then all week we heard the Eagles had never seen an offense like the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff. You got the double hitter running backs and Gibbs and Montgomery. Amon St. Brown. Amon St. Brown been talking about this matchup since they got eliminated from the playoffs last year. Remember that,
it.
Amon?
Washington.
At home, number one overall seed. Oh, what could have been? Well, we was there waiting, and y'all was too busy getting beat at home by Washington. So in the offseason, here you go. Oh, well, when my guys are healthy, we're coming in and we'll trash the Eagles. Cool. Your guys was healthy. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson out there the whole game. Y'all might forgot that he was out there because you didn't hear his name being called the whole game because he was in check. Even when my man
Thought he
Lane
took thought
Johnson
he
went
took the day
down,
off.
yeah, even my man Lane Johnson went down. We put in Big Fred Johnson came in there. Oh, Aiden, oh, he's gonna move to the other side and go against Jordan. Well, Jordan Mailata had him in check too. So you can hear Aiden Hutchinson name the whole game. And then we go on the offensive side. Jared Goff looked like he saw ghosts out there. He looking at the sideline asking Dan Campbell to throw the flag because he's telling you it's too many guys on the field. Nah, wasn't too many guys on the field, bro. It wasn't.
It wasn't that. It was your heart pumping too much Kool-Aid.
Extra sugar. Okay,
Uh-oh.
my guys on the defensive line destroyed their offensive line. Penei Sue, who? Oh, Penei Sue. Oh, he's the best guard. He's the best tackle in the league. Best offensive lineman in the league. Well, we had Penei Sue looking like buttercream cake out there. Okay,
Mm-mm. Zabrowski talking
buttercream
crazy.
out there.
Send your
Okay,
email, Zabrowski. Send your email,
out
Zabrowski.
there looking super sweet.
Super sweet.
What we had? What, five deflections? One turned into a pick. Hmm. Hmm? We got this. We got an offensive. We got excuse me. We got a defensive line full of Jalen's out there. You know, you got Jalen Hurts coming off of one end. You got Jalen Carter in the middle, and then you got Jalen Phillips on the outside, who since been here has made his presence known. He looks like a man on a mission, and he once again said, "This is the best thing that ever happened to me." Was being traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. It wasn't getting drafted in the NFL. It wasn't playing in his first NFL game. The greatest thing in his life happened when he got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. And he has shown us how appreciated that he is to be a part of this organization because he's out there destroying quarterbacks, running backs, and offensive line. And then I'm not even going to talk about my secondary because we didn't even have to really talk about them because Jared Goff had no time to throw the ball. Defensive line took care of everything. I got to give a huge shout out to my linebackers, N'Kobe Dean. Once he came back in, he kind of calmed the defense down, you know, brought everybody together. And now he's out there beasting it. You know, he out there covering running backs. He out there covering Jameer Gibbs. Hmm? And nobody want to talk about that, right? Nobody want to talk about N'Kobe Dean covering Jameer Gibbs and then turn around covering Jamison Williams. Nobody want to talk about that, right? Nobody want to talk about how these guys could not get a first down. We don't want to talk about how these guys went for on fourth down 5 times, even try to run some type of trick play, and we stop them all 5 times. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is a prime example of how much an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are valued on the team because this defense that Detroit has don't look the same. Even last season when they had all them guys out, they still the top tier defense in the league last year. Now they're like a shell of themselves. Also on the offensive side, Dan Campbell calling these plays extremely predictable. We talked about that behind the scenes about how we don't want to be predictable. You know, that's one of the worst things to be in the NFL. And Detroit has become very predictable now. So I just want everybody out there who just keep talking trash about us. Who's next? Tell me who's next. What what team is going to stop us? What team in the NFC is going to stop us? Because all the top teams in the NFC that you said were going to stop us, we beat them all. We ran through the NFC North. Ran through them. Green Bay offense trash. Minnesota offense was trash. Detroit Lions offense is trash. We just got the Bears coming up soon. You know, we got the Bears coming up. We'll see what's going on in Chicago, in Chi-Town. We're gonna see what's
That's
happening
Black
there.
Friday, right?
It's a Black Friday game. Yep. So I just want to know what's the next NFC team that's potentially going to stop us in our track, because right now nobody in NFC can beat the Eagles. You can't make it to the big dance without beating the champs, and nobody has beaten us. All of these so-called teams that was ranked ahead of us, these quarterbacks that was ranked ahead of Jalen Hurts, have yet to beat Jalen Hurts. So I need to know who's next. What NFC team is next? Tell me. Because when I look on the schedule, I just see dubs. Okay? I see soft butterscotch cream hostess cupcake with the filling in the middle. I see Pillsbury Doughboy. I see Tasty Cake Crimpets. I see all of these soft teams out there, okay? What they say? Pumps jump up to get beat
Beat
down.
down.
Yeah, that's what we
You
do.
know it's crazy. You know it's crazy when Browski starts spitting brand Nubian lyrics. It's off the hook. Listen, we're in the building down in sports. Listen, Browski's totally right, man. Again, and you almost got a Jalen. That's a J Licks. I mean,
That's
it's
Jay
so
Licks, a
crazy. Um,
Jalen.
yeah, I mean, again, the Eagles are looking, crispy right now. You know what I'm saying? And again, the big controversy, the major controversy in the game was a pass interference call, which was, it was what it was. But again, doing the hindsight, and hindsight's always 2020. They could have gave it to him. That would not have changed the outcome of the game. So
Now,
again, yeah, was it a egregious call? Yes. Should it have been made? No. But again, at the end of the day, it's no
I
difference.
mean, if we're gonna go, we're gonna talk about the refs. I mean, the refs had a terrible game because they had two pen.
They always have terrible games.
The the false
Always.
start, the false start on the touch push on the 4th and inches. It wasn't a false start. He was telling the ball like, "Yo, you're in the neutral zone." Like he was in the neutral zone. He was trying to tell him to back up. He
Let me
didn't
find
move.
out.
He could still move.
Let me find out the
Um,
referees are shook.
right, and then the other one they call on AJ, the chop block. AJ was falling, like he was falling, and he fell into him. He was falling down. So I'm like, all right. So you call those two against us, and then you got this pass interference call. All right, well, guess what? It was pass interference majority of the game, and it wasn't being called. But like Left said, even if you would have granted that penalty, y'all wasn't moving the
It
ball
wasn't gonna
anyway.
do
The
nothing. It
defense was
wasn't gonna do
playing
nothing.
lights out. Jared
So
Goff was shook. Dan Campbell was calling a horrible game. Nothing was going to happen.
so
You know what was going to happen? They was going
what's
to
that?
lose. They was going to use all them timeouts and still lose the game. It was over.
I mean, to that extent, yeah. You doing your thing, you riding high. The Eagles are doing their thing. I'm gonna say like 3 lines about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm gonna keep it pushing. Um, they did exactly what I said they would do. They showed up, then they didn't show up. My thing is, how you gonna let Josh Allen throw for 3 touchdowns and run for 3 touchdowns? Um, is that 3 sentences, Pascal? That more than three? It's three. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
leave it. Alone. I'm not
yeah.
gonna say nothing else about it. Moving right
Um,
along.
yeah, yeah. I mean, week 11. Um, We got a debut. Shador got out there. It was against the Ravens, and a lot of people was criticizing him. I'm gonna defend him because what did you expect for him to look like when you don't even let this guy practice for real? The whole training camp, the preseason. He's not getting no reps with the ones. He wasn't getting no reps with the twos. He out there playing with guys who not gonna be on any NFL roster. He playing with practice squad guys. He's not even for real. You're not even letting him run the practice squad. You had Bailey Zappi doing that. So then when you name Dylan Gabriel the starter and then you elevate him to the second string, you still wasn't like really having him practice with the first team. He said, one thing that he said in his post game interview was he wished he had more time with Jared Judy. And I'm like, what that shows that tells you right there that they had this guy ill prepared. So we will see what he'll look like this week because he's starting because Dylan Gabriel, has a concussion. Um, I feel like when Shador got in the game, it gave the Browns like a lightning bolt of energy. It was like some excitement for the Browns. The fans was welcoming. They was all in it. The team seemed to have a little bit more energy. And all right, he threw a pick. It's going to happen. He's a rookie. He's a rookie who hasn't seen the field since that one preseason game. And it's already week 11. So, only thing you can do is wait till this Sunday to see, what type of game plan they plan for him. And he can't be any worse than Dylan Gabriel. I mean, let's be honest. How
Um,
you feel about it?
I felt like Shador played like a fifth round draft pick entering his first game in the NFL. Brasky, it don't take a lot to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You and I have been watching, mad rookies come, mad rookies go, mad rookies get a lot of fanfare, and all the talking and hyperbole and predictions and prognosticators, all that stops once they hit the field. All that, well, he's gonna do this and he did that, and all that is goes away, right? Um, did he play as expected? To me, yes. So is he going to get better? Is he going to get? Is this like a 6, 7 game audition now for the rest of the season? Yes, because now this is Shador's time. It's Shador's chance to put his money. Does he have to throw for 5 touchdowns every game? No. But what he does have to do is show that he can command the offense. And so, like you said, Kimmy, already, that they play for the quarterback. The guys in there that they react to, they're gonna play. They're gonna go extra hard for him. So now it's just totally kind of like up to Shador. If he can kind of like build a rapport now, he's gonna get to practice with the ones. You know what I mean? It's not gonna come, instantaneously. But again, the more reps he gets, the more familiar he becomes with Stefanski's system, and the more he wants to, because he wants to play within himself, but he wants to be Shador, right? And again, the only thing I'll say
Mm-hmm.
to Shador is this: we know and you know that this level is a tad bit faster, a tad bit more intelligent than the last levels you played at. Not disrespecting nothing that happened at Colorado or the Big 12 or Jackson State or none of that.
Well, yeah.
But this is where you wanted to be. So now is your chance to shut everybody up. This is the point I was getting around to, Basky. I had to go over the river and through the woods to the grandma's house and get some oatmeal cookies. This is Shador Sanders' chance to shut all those people up. Because everybody had so much to say about Shador Sanders. They was laughing and this and that and the third. Whoop de whoop. All he had
Yeah.
to do was just keep his mind right and focus on what he needed to do. Because what did we say? A chance is going to come. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be cold, and somebody going to get traded. All three of them
Mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not going to really just jump out the window and be like Shador, needs to do this and Shador needs to do that. Shador is going to get some experience now. And hopefully by the end of this season, he can make the people say, well, yo, he kind of did all right. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
what he does next season.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the yeah, Browski. Remember last week we was talking about if this guy's the starter, he gets hurt, the other guy comes in and he does wild numbers and stuff like that. Do you keep that guy in or do you bring the starter back? Now,
Mhm.
this is a situation that calls for that situation. Dylan
Yes.
Gabriel is not the prototypical number one. He was just named number one because he was there,
Mhm.
right? He gets hurt. Shador comes in and kills it for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks. Do we have a quarterback controversy or no?
Um, I'll say no because I still think the
There
Browns
you go,
will
Browski.
will
Exactly.
draft a quarterback in the next
There you
draft.
go. There you go. Thank you. So I mean, again, at the end of the day, they're getting some burn. If the
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns were a situation that was strong at the quarterback position, them dudes would never see the field.
Correct.
But they're not strong in that position. So now you got the Dylan Gabriels of the world, and you got a fifth round pick of Shador Sanders now out here doing what you do. I remember
Yeah.
back in the day they had what was a 6th round pick from Michigan,
Yep.
and what he ended up doing. So again, and nobody knew he was going to do that, right? Because if it wasn't for Bart Scott, you'd have never seen Tom Brady.
Mhm.
So again, at the end of the day, let's just let the dude do his thing. He got bigger, things on his plate now. The health of his dad and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? So again, let the kid breathe, man. Let him breathe. Word up. Let him breathe.
Yeah.
I
And
want to talk about one thing before we move on to basketball because I got some things I want to talk about with basketball. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know I was gonna say 3 sentences, Browski. Here's the guy who's under the most pressure for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think you might know where I'm going with this. It's on the defensive side. Hassan Reddick. He paid you $14 million, B. We got 1.5 sacks out of you, B. You missed 3 games, B. Like, when are you going to start showing up?
now you see
Because
why we didn't give him the money.
all I've been talking about the last 3 or 4 weeks with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the defense. How our defense is
Mhm.
talked about as it's highly rated and people respect our defense. So every year we getting chopped up, chewed up, and spit out. Right. So again, I'm not blaming Hassan Reddick, but man, we could, 1.5 sacks for 14. That's what $14 million get you, be.
That's why we didn't pay him. That's why we
And I
let this.
move,
That's why we let this
and I
guy
move on,
walk.
and I move on. We are in the building. We do this every Tuesday night, man. We appreciate everybody that rocks out with us. Salute to the Most High. I see you, my guy. Salute to the people that come through and whatever this or some curiosity stuff or whatever the case may be. But you know what I've been noticing when we talk about things, I notice that now all of a sudden it's in the air. I don't know if that's some podcast algorithm or whatever the case may be, but again, we talk about it and then all of a sudden it gets talked about. Um, NBA. Why are all these dudes getting hurt? Let me cook for a second, Bosky. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo with the groin. We got Victor Wembanyama with the calf. We got Stephen Castle with the hip flexor. Anthony Davis, Ty Jerome, Dylan Harper, John Morant, Drew Holiday, calf strain. I was having a discussion with the homie today, and he said, "Yo, Des, check this out. This is what might be contributing to those soft tissue injuries. The league, the NBA, has been playing at its fastest pace since 1988, 1989. You're running up and down the court constantly, consistently. You're having to D out all the way out, up top, all the way on the side because everybody in the league can shoot. So you got to play defense 25 feet out. A lot of running around. Transition wins. We know that. You got to move up and down the court. So now, my thing is, it's going to cause a real, how do I say this, Kimmy? A real kind of like uptick in the looking for a way to shorten the NBA season. Now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back, Browski, about 10 years, maybe about 10 years, Kimmy. When I said, why don't you just start the NBA season on Christmas Day? Because you know why? Because NFL is still in full effect. Nobody's really paying attention to the NBA until Christmas anyway. It doesn't really start until then, if you know what I'm saying. It'd be about a month, a good month into the season. So if you want to, shorten the season to 75 games, the old heads is gonna look at you. You know what they're gonna do, Browski? They're gonna look down their nose at them. But how else do you keep these guys on the court? Being that the court is the same size, the players aren't the same size. The players have gotten bigger. So again, all these injuries, I feel like it's going to lead to, hey, let's just shorten the season. But also, due to knowledge, these guys don't play basketball from what is it, Browski? Late October to June. They play from late October to June. Then they got the summer league. Then they got to practice. Then they got to work out. And Lord, don't let it be an Olympic year. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's the constant. And what did you say, Kimmy? These dudes is paying up to millions of dollars to take care of their bodies. And they breaking down like AFX tracks. That's before your time. We used to do the little race cars in the crib. But listen, like what are you gonna tell an old head like me, Browski? Well, these guys are getting hurt because they're playing too many games? What? You heard what Michael Jordan said. And if Michael Jordan said it, hey, you know what I mean? So it's got to be a kind of like a point where they meet in the middle, where it's like you're already taking away 17 games to make to win MVP. You only got to play 65 games to win MVP, which is nonsense from the door. But to justify it, all these guys, how do you see it, Browski? What do you think the cause of all these soft tissue injuries happening to star players, like $30 million guys, $25 million guys, $40 million guys? What do you think the cause of it is, Kimmy? And how can it be alleviated a little bit?
I think one, I think it's definitely the pace of the game now.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I think it's um the fact that most of these young guys don't really take care of their bodies for real.
Mm.
Um, Three, I think is the play style. Um, Everything is run and gun. It's really not that many half court sets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all big guys now have to be more agile than they had to than those guys from the past. Shaq and them, they just had to run to the paint. Now you have big guys who have handles, taking people off the dribble,
Mm-hmm.
shooting 3 pointers, playing like a guard. So their bodies may not be used to all of that cutting,
Mm-hmm.
stopping on the dime,
Mm-hmm.
you
Let's go,
know.
Browski.
Um, I also think it's the additional games now. Now we have uh, a play-in game. You know, that's what, four more postseason games than we need. So you think you got like a team like Miami that for some reason always seems to find itself in the play-in game, either being the seventh seed or
Send your
eighth
email,
seed.
Zabrowski.
I mean, I'm just being honest. They always find themselves in the play-in game and have been successful in those
In it.
play-in games
Right.
to advance in the playoffs. But those are four more games that these guys had to play at a high level just to make the postseason to play
Right.
more
Right.
games.
Right.
You
Right.
know, and then you speak of the Olympics. What if this is the year that Summer Olympics? So now you have an extended break for the Summer Olympics, different play styles over there. You know,
Mm,
Olympic
different
basketball
rules
is
you got to
way,
remember. Right.
yeah,
Right.
way different. Certain things you can't do. You got to move a little differently over there. So that's another change that your body have to adjust to.
Mm.
And I mean, I just feel like they just playing a lot more now than they did back then. And it's crazy to say that they playing a lot more, especially when you have load management looming around. But when you look at certain players, like we talk about the Giannis and the Cat and the Ja, but these are guys that are in the playoffs majority of the time. You know, so
Their
I
grind is
feel,
longer.
yeah, yep. And it takes a toll on their body. And like I said, some of them don't really take care of their body. I mean, you got a guy in the league that been playing high intensity, like just at the top of his game, basketball for 20 plus years. Haven't had any real, like, significant injuries that have him out for like a season or half a season. Why not use
Till
that guy
now.
as a resource? You know, learn from him. You have all of this money. You make so much money not to take care of the thing that you need to make money, which is your body. Take care of your body. But I don't think they should eliminate games because
I don't think so either.
we already called the NBA soft. So you telling me you take away 10 games? You know, what are we talking about? You
Right.
telling me you getting paid 40 million, 50 million a year and you need more time off? This ain't a 9 to 5 job, okay? You getting paid millions of
Right.
dollars to play a game, okay?
Right.
You don't have you don't have PTO hours. You don't have that. I'm sorry. It's not in your contract. You don't have that. But you know what you have? You have millions of dollars. So figure it out. Figure it out. Take care of your body.
You're out, son. That's
That,
right.
that that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta figure it out. But speaking of injuries and people returning from injuries, we had a Paul George sighting yesterday for the
Oh,
Philadelphia
talk about
Sixers.
it, Bosky. Talk about it.
Okay. Um, I've been having a debate with people about Paul George since the season started because me myself, I I look at myself as a logical thinker. I look at things from a logical perspective. Not a lot of emotions in it. So when I see a guy in Paul George that fully participated in training camp, fully participate in practices, and you telling me this is November 17th was the first time that we seen you play in an NBA game. I don't understand how a person who can practice every day with the team, but for some strange reason can't play in a game. So then we had him back. He played about 21 minutes, 9 points. Mm, the team look a little different with him. You know, right now, without him, the team is younger. We're moving the ball. We're up and down the court, you know,
Mm-hmm.
fast pace. Now we have to incorporate these older injured guys, you know, with Paul George and Joel Embiid, who, you know, hasn't played because now he has an issue with his right knee, you know, not the left one that he didn't have multiple surgeries on, and the reason why he was out all last season. No, now it's the right one that was supposed to be perfectly fine. Now all of a sudden the right knee is hurting. But this team is going to look totally different now that we had these two guys on the court with Maxi, VJ, Oubre, McCain, Grimes. Like it to me, it don't mesh well, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why when people ask me, "Well, what do you expect from this team?" I don't expect anything from this team because I don't know what this team going to look like. I'm hoping by the trade deadline that this team looks totally different, and we cut some of the old fat from off the team. Because for the life of me, I don't know why we have Eric Gordon on the team. For the life of me, I don't know why Kyle Lowry's on the team. They say, oh, well, Kyle Lowry's going to be a coach. Okay, well, take off the uniform and put on the warm up. Like,
That's
what are we
crazy.
doing? And be a coach. Be on the bench and be a coach. You're holding up a spot for somebody who could help us. So I'm just hoping that by the trade deadline, is crazy that I'm talking about the trade deadline when the season really just started. But that's where I'm at because this team that they have in front of me, I have no expectations because I don't know. You know, I don't know what this team is. And you know, can't really move like the first day people, oh well trade Joel. We can't. Not with that contract. We just gave this guy this huge extension. Nobody is going to take that contract on top of his injuries. He's not healthy all the time. Nobody's going to take that. A fool would take that huge contract in this injury written guy. And then you look at Paul George. Yeah, we got this guy this contract, but I need him going too. Somebody trade him back to LA. That's where you want to be anyway. So he can do his podcast and stuff. Go back to LA. West Coast, you know what I noticed too? It is not just here in Philly. I feel like West Coast dudes are not built for the East Coast life. You know, when you look at some of the
Mm-hmm.
guys that come from the West, like from like LA and like Phoenix, and they come to like Philly or New York or
Yeah, it's culture shock.
Boston, you know, on the East, because you know it's different here. You know,
It's absolutely
we
different.
we play a different style of basketball. Like it's it's hard hitting. You know, it's tough. It's grimy. Out there in the West, it's like it's finesse, you know? It's finesse out there. You got Lob City, you know, Splash Brothers, you know, it's a lot of nicknames out there.
Showtime Lakers.
Showtime, like, it's a lot of nicknames, a lot of flash. But it seems like when those guys come on this coast, it don't it don't work out. It don't work. And I'm feeling like that with Paul George. It just it don't work. Like he was in Indiana for all those years, but he's a West Coast dude for real. And he's definitely playing like a West Coast dude here. Like
What so
it's not.
so how do you think what do you think about I'll just put one out there, but I agree with you. Paul Pierce. Cause and I say that to say because when he first came, because he's from LA,
Yeah,
and when he first came up to Boston, they tried to kill him.
yeah. I think he
Well,
adjusts. He was
pretty
able
much.
to
You
adjust.
think?
Yeah, because I remember his first 2 years in Boston, and they definitely was trying to run him out of Boston. Like they hated him. I remember, yeah, they hated him, and he adjusts his play style, to how we played on the East Coast. Like he adjusted. So some guys can adjust. It's very few, you know. So
Don't
that
sleep
is
on
something that I observed.
Don't sleep on Michigan State. They just got through beating up on Kentucky.
Oh,
Um, and again, I just, I'm not really there with college basketball yet, but I'm watching. I'm waiting for to see the kid Darren Peterson from Kansas. Of course, he's not playing tonight, which leads me to my next statement, Browski. A lot of college, NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, whatever you want to call it. All your super duper uber trooper stars, you expect them to play in the biggest games. You know what it kind of reminds me of, Kimmy?
what?
A big award show. Well, the winner for the best, greatest superstar singer R&B is so and so. So and so will not be here tonight because
Oh
so
yeah. So
they
we want
accept
to
the
the war
awards.
is behalf.
So again, for me, it's like all these big name. We just got to talking about all these big name people are out, right? And even
Yeah.
it's kind of filtered down into the college ranks because everybody wants to see this kid Peterson from Kansas, and
Yeah.
this is going to be his third game because they
Yeah.
play Duke tonight. So we talking college basketball, y'all. Yeah, so it's like an award show. You got all these guys up for all these awards and all these big name people and so, but none of them is there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that's that. But yeah, Browski. Again, you know, it's definitely a change of culture. Imagine, being a young kid, 18, 19 years old, leaving home, you know what I'm saying, and coming, not going to, come from LA, going like Arizona or going up to Seattle or something like that. You go you skipping over everything and ended up in New York or
Yeah.
Boston or even the Carolinas. So that's still East Coast. So for
Mhm.
me, it's like if you don't even, how do I say this? Like you got to have it kind of in you because the hood is everywhere, and it don't necessarily have to be the hood. You just have to kind of like be aware of certain stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Again, at the end of the day, um, I think it could be vice versa too. Because again, the kids from the East Coast we're used to you go out west and it's like this, Kimmy. Now all of a sudden you got to slow yourself down because you
Yeah.
used to head on a swivel. You always on the go. You know what I mean? You in Philly. You got
Yeah.
whoop de woo. You moving, shaking, and popping.
Yeah.
Then you go out to somewhere, Sacramento, somewhere. No disrespect. It's not popping like that out there. You used to. Now you can't control yourself.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
again, it has effects both ways. But I just wanted to talk about that and speak on it. Something else I want to speak on real quick. We jumping all over the place. This down in sports is how we do. My New York Rangers, man. I gotta give some to my hockey people. Um, I don't know what the hell's going on. 1-7-1 at the Garden. Browski, 9-1-1 on the road. Like, I mean, it is what I can't even think of something slick to say. But I think that tonight we played Las Vegas. We won 3 out of the last 4 games, so maybe it's kind of turning around a little bit. My man Panarin leads the team at 18 points. Zibanejad with 7 goals, got to step it up a little bit. We're losing games to teams that we didn't use to before, like the Detroit Red Wings and stuff like that. No disrespect to them, but I think that this home thing is crazy. I think we didn't even score a goal in our first 3 home games. That's even crazier. You get shut out in your first 3 home games. But the goaltending, Igor, you got to be better than 7-6, homie, because we consider you still one of the dopest in the league. You know what I mean? Between the pipes. And Jonathan Quick, you serving as a capable backup, man. But again, at the end of the day, they want to see Igor Shosturkin. And Igor is 7-6, man. You gotta step your game up a little bit. That's all I wanted to do. Salute to my hockey people. You already know what it is. Back to a regular schedule program. Down to In Sports. Yada Bears in the building. Left handers in the building. And we doing it like this. You already know. Bang, 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 bang. Now, college football playoffs, Bowski.
Boom. Right, right there. Well, we seen the change of the guard so fast,
Bang,
in
bang.
the top five right now. Salute to Oklahoma. I'm gonna have to put some respect on Oklahoma, and I need you guys to start putting more respect on Oklahoma
That's my man Slate's
because
team, Oklahoma.
yeah, because not only did they just handle Alabama, one thing I have noticed about them, this season, and it's crazy that nobody really had pointed this out, but they have the best defense in the SEC. Like they play ridiculous on both sides of the ball. Like when I look at Oklahoma, I'm like, wow, this is a complete team, and it's like a lot of people we overlook Oklahoma because it's not a sexy pick. Alabama, Georgia, Texas. We think, oh, Texas is going to be the best Big 12 team to go to the SEC. Everybody thought Texas was going to be the team, but it was really Oklahoma that was the Big 12 team that's really thriving in the SEC. They really was able to convert to SEC style football and be really good at it. You know, um, so I definitely gotta give some respect to them. Um, Even though the top 25 ain't really giving them that much respect. I mean, they put them at eighth. I thought they should be higher, you know, than eight. But number one, you of course you got Ohio State, two Indiana, three Texas A&M, Georgia at five, Ole Miss at no, Ole Miss at five, Georgia at four, Oregon. So basically, it seemed like Oregon, Texas Tech, and then Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Alabama at 10, BYU at 11, and the 12th team that sneaked in
The
there,
Miami Hurricanes.
Vanderbilt.
What?
They got Vandy at 12.
Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt, they
The
snuck
hell?
in at 12. They had trumped um, Utah, Miami, and Georgia Tech
I'm
to
looking here.
sneak in at number 12.
I'm looking here at the college football playoff rankings. It says Vanderbilt's 14th.
I just looked on ESPN. They said they was 12.
And Miami's 13th. It put Vanderbilt 14, USC 15, Vanderbilt 14,
Did they
Miami
just change it
13.
up that fast on me?
College football playoff rankings, yeah. Miami is at 13.
Well, I take it back.
Don't you worry about it. It's all
Jeez,
good. hmm
they
It's
changed that
it's
real
fluid.
quick.
It's fluid, Browski.
It's
You already
fluid,
know.
yeah.
Fluid. You know what I'm saying? Um, I, 13. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at 13.
I mean, 13 not bad
They
for
can, they can win out. They
mhm.
went out, and then who knows? Again, once again, their destiny is in their own hands at 13. And if they can win out, who knows what happens to the teams ahead of them? Somebody could drop. Look at this. You got Utah at 12, right? They still got a championship game that they got to deal with. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean,
Mhm.
oh, BYU was out 11. So they're saying to me, that's saying BYU, if they played Miami or Utah on a neutral field, they'll beat them. And I'm
Mhm.
not so sure about that. Not on a neutral field.
I don't know
And I,
about that
and I
now.
don't see, I don't, and I don't really see BYU going down to Miami and winning. They
No,
might win in Utah, but I don't see them winning in Miami. Alabama's number 10.
I think it'll be a real close game if it's in Utah.
Okay, Alabama's okay.
All right, so
Yeah, I
Alabama at
mean
10.
everybody's back on the Alabama train, huh? I remember when they was ready to fire Caleb DeBoer.
They was.
They was ready to go beat him up, get
They
him up
ready to
out
get
of
him
here.
out
You
of
know what I
there.
mean?
Yeah, they ready to get
Now
him
they
out of
back in
there.
the building. You know, they might not get a bye, but hey, they back in the building. I think that all bets are off once the playoffs start. Notre Dame number 9, Bowski. Look at this. Notre Dame number 9.
Well, I mean, what did we say about what how the bracket's gonna look? Once they extend it to 12 teams, that you have
Mhm.
teams with two, possibly three losses in the playoffs.
And they're gonna make a way for Notre Dame. I don't
Always.
care what kind of numerical, statistical, analytical program that they figure out. Notre Dame is gonna be in there some kind of way. Okay, there's your
Always.
Oklahoma and number 8. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 'cause they put it on Alabama. They made a believer out of a lot of people. Because when Mateer got hurt for Oklahoma, it was
Yeah.
like okay, they fell back to kind of like regular
It
stats. And
kind of felt.
Slate
Mm-hmm.
was mad as hell. We had Slate talking, Slate mad as hell. But that Alabama game, like you said, Browski, it was like they was playing with 14 dudes on defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every
It was
time,
crazy.
every time Ty Simpson threw the ball, it was 4 dudes, 4 Oklahoma guys around the Alabama guy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Where all these guys come from? Oregon number 7.
Hmm.
Well, that Big Ten thing is going to be kind of crazy to figure out. Oregon's up there. Ohio State's number 1, so they're going to be in the Big Ten championship game.
Indiana.
Oh yeah, forgot about Indiana.
Indiana number 2.
Yeah, Ole Miss number 6. I
Ole
forgot about
Miss.
Indiana. See that quick? I forgot
Yeah.
about Indiana. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put no.
So
I don't want to say that too loud. I don't want Kurt Signetti to beat me up
yeah.
because he
So
was
so
talking
that
real
Big Ten
greasy.
championship is going to be. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazier than the
Texas Tech
SEC.
is 5. Yeah, but and again, if it's Ohio State, Indiana, and they both undefeated, that's
Yeah.
gonna be the truth teller right there. That's
Yep.
gonna be the
Yeah.
truth teller. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Be like,
I
oh
mean,
snap! Ohio State and Indiana playing football championship. What?
championship.
What in the
Say
name of
what?
Greg Oden and Isaiah Thomas is going on here?
Exactly. These are basketball schools. What are we
You know what I mean?
saying?
Georgia number 4. Okay, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's number 4. So then that means what? Ohio State,
But
Indiana,
then it gotta be
Texas A&M, Indiana, and Ohio State.
yeah,
Yep, Texas A&M number 3.
Texas A&M, Indiana,
Indiana,
Ohio
and
State.
Ohio State.
Yep. Mm, yeah.
I had Browski. I had Indiana State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Oregon. I just kind of like figured that if you're gonna put a team in there that has a loss, you know what I mean. Georgia lost to Alabama, right? Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
they had to come across the country a lot, Browski. That's the thing
Yeah.
that when I was talking to my man, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." They came across the
Yeah.
country, beat Penn State,
Mm-hmm.
came across the country and won a couple other games. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I would have Oregon at number 4, but they at number 7. I'm not mad at that. It wasn't too far off. Word up, but that's what Miami get though. That's what Miami get. 13. That's what they get in a 12-team field. That's what they get. That's what happens when you lose to Louisville.
Two teams back to back.
Yeah, that's
Unranked
what
teams.
happens. And you lost
Yeah.
to SMU.
Yeah.
Word up.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Trent Grisham returns to the Yankees 1 year. $22 million to the qualifying offer. Whatever, you know. Where you at with the fight this weekend, Browski?
Um, I haven't really thought about it. Truthfully, haven't really thought about it. Might not even watch it.
Hmm.
Just maybe I'll catch the highlights. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
you
just
reading my mind, Kimmy Browski. Like
yeah
I'm not like,
yeah.
and,
We already
and your
seen
man,
it.
50 Cent. I would not want him to walk me to the ring.
Never, never. They don't learn. They don't learn.
I mean, there's
Never.
plenty of video out there when he was walked in your Ryokas Gamboa in the ring against Terrence Crawford. There's plenty of video out there.
Walked him in there. You ain't see him no more.
You ain't see him no
You
more.
ain't see him no more.
You ain't see him no more.
You ain't see him no more.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, he walked Chris Eubank into some punches,
Yeah, he
into
did.
some fists.
He walked him straight into a couple punches. So yeah, I wouldn't want
Chris
him.
Eubank, Chris Eubank saw many men, many men put hurt. Pardon me. I can't
For
fight no
real.
more. Now my back is on the floor. It's not many men.
He definitely did.
My
He
bad. I'm
definitely
sorry.
did.
My bad. I'm sorry.
He definitely did.
Yeah,
That's why
man, definitely, definitely. Um, we are in the building right now, down in sports. This is Browski's favorite part of the show, where she gets to get down on what the get down go be. What we getting down on this week, Browski?
I'm getting down on the haters. I'm getting down on the haters of my Eagles, and on top of that, in conjunction of that, also the refs, because the refs did call a terrible game, on both sides. And the people who's crying about the pass interference call, it wasn't going to change the outcome of the game. Dan Campbell already lost you the game. Jared Goff already lost you the game. So I just want all the people out there to just stop complaining, move on, look to the next week. Focus on trying to get out of your division, because right now Chicago is sitting on top all alone. And it's so crazy when you say, "Dang, Chicago is number one." Well, look what Chicago got. Look who their head coach is, and look at their offense. You know, you have a guy that has an understanding of Caleb Williams' skill set. He designed an offense to fit him instead of trying to fit him to his offense. So I want to, look at all these guys and say, stop pointing fingers, figure it out, because the beginning it was so much focus on the tush push. Oh, this is illegal. It need to be banned. Yada yada yada. And then I look, and everybody in the league is doing their own variation of the tush push. Nobody talks about Josh Allen, who they do in Buffalo a million times. I feel like they have ran it more than we ran it this season. Truthfully, we haven't really ran it that much. So we've seen a different variation with Baltimore when they had Mark Andrews do the fake and he ran it in for a touchdown. So stop complaining. Figure it out. Look within your own team. Figure out how to get you guys to the next level, how to get you guys to the promised land. Because the way I look at it, when I look at the standings, I'm seeing we're going to be back to back NFC East champs, which never happens in the NFC. The NFC is always a revolving doors of who's up top. Well, this year it's us again. Okay? Like my man Gilly says, it's an encore. It's encore now. You know? What did Ric Flair say? To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And right now, week after week, it's BTA. If y'all know what BTA means, spelled to asses. That's what it is. And this week, it's the Cowboys. So everybody get your belts ready. We saddling up. We going down to Dallas and AT&T Stadium with Jerry Jones, with our Kelly Green. So you're gonna have people out there with Kelly Green cowboy hats on, little bucket hat, 10-gallon Kelly Green cowboy hats. You know, with their little Eagles fan, where them fans at. We're gonna be down there, pat, pat, pat. You on mute? You on mute? But we're gonna be down there showing out and getting another dub because it's all about winning, and that's what I'm getting down on. Oh, you're on mute. You muted.
I'm gonna put a different spin on it. I want to get down on being Eddie.
Oh.
That Eddie Murphy documentary was so funny. It was enlightening. It was kind of like nostalgic, in a lot of ways. Um, but should Eddie Murphy come back and do stand up? Hell yeah, Eddie Murphy would kill it. If you haven't seen the documentary, I don't want to blow it up, but I don't know if you saw the little shorts or whatever with him, doing the with the Richard Pryor and
Mhm.
Bill Cosby ventriloquist things. That he could do a
Yeah, I'm gonna
whole
watch
hour and a
it.
half set with just him and the puppets, and it would be bananas. Um, my favorite part of it when he was talking about Saturday Night Live.
Mm.
When I remember that when they did the thing on David Spade, try to play him out or whatever the case may be, he was tight.
Mhm.
Justifiably so. Eddie Murphy didn't need Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live needed Eddie Murphy. But with that being said, what enlightened me was that Ed was definitely basically one of the first like do it all guys. He was the comedian guy, and he did the movies. Then came the Samuels, the Wesleys, the Denzels, and you name it. Then they came. So that was the part I was like, oh snap, word. And he's been in every kind of genre of movie, be it good, bad, or indifferent, that you could think of.
No, that's true.
Right? He's played
That's
like
true.
wild different characters in the same scene, right?
He been
Um,
in a horror movie,
yeah,
action movie,
family
comedies,
friendly joints. Yeah, you know what I mean.
family movies. Yeah,
Absolutely. So again, I think that and again, Eddie Murphy's been my favorite comedian forever. It's to me, Browski is hard to crack that holy trinity of the Richard Pryor and you know Eddie Murphy and you want to call it Paul Mooney, you want to call it whatever you want to call it, but you know who's cracked it in the last 10, 15 years? To me, Dave Chappelle.
oh, absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
again, at the end of the day, when you talk about the comics that you want to see or whatever that you kind of like stuff that still makes you laugh, Dave
Absolutely.
Chappelle got to be up there. No disrespect to the Mike Epps and all those other guys. No disrespect to them, but
Nah, Dave Chappelle.
the monarchs of this game
Yeah.
is Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Paul Mooney, Red Fox, right?
Mhm.
So when you talk about those guys and the other levels, it don't even compute. And if you
I
need
agree.
evidence, there's a little movie called Harlem Nights that all of them is in
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, like you like new cats, you millennial new jacks, New Jack City cats, Eddie Murphy, and it's just It's hard to explain. You had to really be there, though. And it bugged me out when he did the Paul Mooney voice. I was like, wow, he did. And then he did the lady. What was her name? Val Young. He did her.
Mm-hmm.
He had a doll with her. You know what I mean? It was crazy. The whole documentary was so, and it had me just cracking up laughing. You know, and Ed still got it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't advise against the leather suits. That I don't think that would fly in 2025. But does he still have it? Oh, most definitely, absolutely, man. You know what I mean? So again, that's what I want to get down on. If you haven't seen that documentary, make sure you check it out. And we're about to get up out of here. Unless Browski got any more shout outs, so she want to talk to anybody, in particular, like a dude that wears, what should she say? Too many shirts. That's what Browski's stupid. He said he wear too many
With
shirts.
too many shirts, too many, you know.
That
Nah,
was
I got
hard,
nothing.
Browski.
I
That
got
was a good
nothing
one, but
else
that
to
was hard
say,
body. That was
you
hard. Browski's
know.
too many shirts. Yo, we're about to get up out of here, man. You already know what it is. Tuesday night down in sports. I am left-handed. Um, at RM Des on Twitter, which is this right now. And over there is the one who don't wear too many shirts around Bowski. Not at one time anyway. Don't wear too many shirts. You know what I mean? Or the funny hats. Or
Bow
then you gotta have a
tie.
tie around it or whatever. It's like you're strangling yourself or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
And let me say this before we get up out of here. I might get some heat for this. I would never, ever, 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 ever have a co-host named Peggy. And I'm gonna leave that at that. Left-handed right here. Y'all the Browski over there. We'll get at y'all next week. Browski don't go nowhere. We'll get at y'all next week, all right? Y'all be good wherever y'all be, wherever y'all stay at, wherever y'all do. Stay warm, yo.
Stay peace.
Because the Hawks said they on his way, and the Hawk was
The
acting like
Hawk, the Hawk
everybody
is
owe the
out.
Hawk money. The Hawk
It's
said he coming to get his money. So do what
for
you got to
real.
do, right? Stay